Welcome to the Ordinary Marathoner podcast.
Good morning and welcome to the Ordinary Daily version of the Ordinary Marathoner podcast. My name is Scott. I'll be your host today. We're going to start today off, unfortunately, on a bit of a somber note. I don't necessarily like doing this, but I think it's something we need to at least bring up. Gerry Boyle, former podcast guest, the race director of Ironman Maryland. Really, he was Ironman Maryland. He was that race. I don't know, if you guys listen to the show long enough, I did Ironman Maryland in 2017, which I think it was October 2017. And I remember reaching out to Jerry on Facebook. And a lot of times, race directors in particular, I don't even bother trying to get them because I know that they're so busy. And I can't even tell you, most of the races I participate in, I don't know who the race director is in New York City Marathon. I don't know who the race director is at Ironman Lake Placid. I have no idea. But Gerry Boyle was Ironman Maryland. And I don't know. He made himself so accessible to all the athletes, all the participants. He was always online, there to answer any questions. Very, very generous with his time. Very kind. I remember going to Ironman Maryland and just looking to say hi because I had obviously met him on the podcast. Just looking to say hi to him, and he's riding his bicycle around. He's just right in the middle of all the action, right in the middle of all the athletes. And I remember someone asking me, like, "Where do you know Gerry Boyle? I'm supposed to talk to him." And he was right next to her, sitting on his bicycle. He rides the bicycle around just to be able to, I think, soak it in and be available to everybody who has questions or whatever. He was Ironman Maryland. Unfortunately, passed away a couple days ago, and I was just really so sad to hear. So sad to hear. And I remember after finishing Ironman Maryland and thinking about the race itself, I remember saying, there was jellyfish in the water. The wind on the bike that day just made it really difficult and unsuspectingly difficult. There was a whole section of cobblestone that was uneven and looked somewhat dangerous on the run that I didn't like. But the one reason above all else to do that race was Gerry Boyle. And I'm just super sad to hear that he passed. I don't know what that race would be without him. And I'm sorry to start the show on such a sad note, but it just was necessary to mention him. I got to tell you, if I was, I believe the town's name is Cambridge, Maryland, a town that many people probably wouldn't have never heard of if not for Gerry Boyle. I could see a statue of him on the bike being erected down in that where Ironman Village went. That would be, I think, super appropriate because like I said, I don't think a lot of people would have ever heard of Cambridge, Maryland without Gerry Boyle. So, and that's my trigger. I'm wearing my Ironman Maryland hat today, for you, Jer. And again, the guys on his he came on the podcast, was one of my favorite guests. Just so humble, unassuming, generous. He'll be missed. Certainly be missed. As for me, there's a little bit of a disaster area here today. After coming back from Jersey City yesterday, I pretty much tried to put together the podcasting equipment quickly so I could get the morning podcast done. So it's a little bit of a disaster here if you're seeing us on video. Great trip. What a great trip. Let's kind of pick it up where we left off, I guess. I got off the podcast on Wednesday. I was kind of like, high anxiety having to drive so far and make it there within a certain amount of time. I decided after the podcast, just sort of on the fly, that I just, I got to leave. I got to get everything together and go. If I sit here and look around too much, I'll find something, I'll it's just going to be more worry about getting there. I thought about, all right, if I run in the morning, it's going to take me at least an hour. And then, again, it's another hour that I won't be able to, that I won't be able to set up or be ready for. So plus, Jersey City has this path right on the river there that's so beautiful. So I decided, and I guess this was a possibility. I feel like I might have mentioned it. I decided that I was just going to leave as soon as possible and then get there. If I got there early enough, I'd go for the run. And I did. I left about 8:15. I got there about 11:30. My friend Vin, who I was staying with, he was just waking up at that time. That's what he does. And his dog was barking at me too. It was crazy. Jack. His dog hates me. I don't know why. The only dog I've ever met that just despises me, no matter what. And apparently he doesn't do this to anybody else. He just barks at me constantly. So I was like, you know what? This is just a sign. I got to go for a run. So I got there. By the way, traffic. I don't even want to talk about traffic, but traffic on the Holland Tunnel, getting there was just annoying. And, my GPS is like, oh, you'll be there in 10 minutes. And I wound up being there in 40. And I should have taken the George Washington Bridge, and I didn't. I should have listened to myself. But it was frustrating. But I got there in plenty of time, and I changed when I got there and went for my run. I ran just shy of 5 miles, but again, just such a beautiful setting for a run, just right on the river, and you just look across and you see Manhattan. I should have taken pictures, but I didn't bring anything with me on the run. I think I did like 4.75 miles. And I tried to get to 5 miles. I ran around the block once, and I was like, all right, I'm done. My pace was surprising. I mean, I did my first mile. I looked down. It was sub 9 minutes. And I don't know. We talked about this the other day, how I was disappointed in my pace on, I think it was Monday or Tuesday's run. I was really disappointed in my pace, Monday's run. And all of a sudden, this one, I was actually the other way. I was really happy with it. I felt really good. I felt like, and maybe it was like not starting out on a hill. There was really no hills on this run because you're right on the water. But I felt really good, and it gave me a little bit more confidence. So and not once in my mind did my brain tell me to stop. I wasn't competing with myself to stop. For some reason, just everything was flowing. Everything was good. It's like I really wanted to be out there. And it was just a fun run, a really good, fun run. Check that box. So then we did the podcast with Ramon. What an excellent, amazing guest, as always. I believe I have good footage of it. I was messing around with it yesterday, and I think it's in good shape. I think we're going to be able to either get that out later today or certainly Saturday. Ramon stuck around. I should have kept the equipment running because really we had just as much of an interesting conversation after the podcast than we did during it, and he was telling us a lot about ultra running and all that. And the good news was he's just great to see him. It was really awesome to see him, and but the bad news was it put us behind, schedule. We did try to get a podcast in with Vin Russo, and we just at that point, look, let's be honest. It was my old friend. We wound up kicking back some beers, and things got a little out of control. And we wound up talking for about an hour and a half. And I think I have like 4 or 5 reels of footage because the camera stopped and started. We lost audio a couple times. The camera ran out of batteries towards the end, so I don't even know how that's going to come out. It's going to be a lot of work to cobble it all together, but I'll get on that as soon as we get the Ramon podcast done. But I think, I got to tell you, I got there and we started unpacking all the equipment, and I felt really nervous, like walking around with this big kind of like light that I have, like the kind of like that camera light, and all the camera equipment and the boxes, and I had it really compact and compartmentalized. We put a lot of kind of the straggling equipment, the wires and headphones and microphones into a big bin and carried that around. And then we had tripods and this big giant light. And I mean, I felt kind of like the nerdy film student walking around. And I felt like people were looking at me. there was a lot of people in the area, like outside the conference room. It's like a big study area, like a lounge, and people were studying. And I don't know if we scared them away. We were kind of loud, but it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun, and I'm really happy we got that done. And it's good to know that it works, and it's something that I can do going forward. Is taking this stuff on the road. I wouldn't want to do it all the time, just because of the hassle of breaking everything down. I mean, look, I didn't even set it back up here, and maybe I can travel. Maybe I can buy some different equipment that'll travel a little bit easier. But it was fun. It was fun, a lot of fun. And I can't wait to get that podcast out with Ramon. It was a good time. And then and the podcast with, I didn't even want. I'm a little nervous about the podcast with Vinny. I'm not sure how that went. Vinny's not even a runner, but Vinny got into lifting. And, so just out of college, he got into lifting and he's an athlete in his own mind, in his own right. Let's say that, in his own mind, and his own right. So we do give him due, and we talk a lot about that and just, weight loss, exercise, sort of like your frame of mind, that kind of thing, keeping busy. And I think it's a good show. I just got to cobble it all together. So I got home yesterday. I left at like 9:15 in the morning, and I was like, I don't want to hit the Holland Tunnel, avoid that at all costs. So I took this sort of circuitous route up Route 17 in New Jersey through to Route 87, the New York State Thruway, which I then took up to 84. You guys know, if you're local, you'll know, but if you're not, you won't. It's basically the long way around just to avoid Manhattan. It probably takes an extra hour just to avoid Manhattan. But you hope you pick up that time by not hitting traffic and not dealing with the stress of the Henry Hudson Parkway, that Riverside Drive or whatever they call it, and the Holland Tunnel, which is just nasty. So, of course, I hit traffic. I mean, nasty traffic, bad traffic. I hit traffic in New Jersey. I hit traffic in New York. I hit traffic in Connecticut. I even hit a little bit of traffic on the side roads in Massachusetts. I'm only in Massachusetts for a little. That's where I live, but we're on the southern border of Connecticut. And I just could not pick the right road. I could not. I don't care what you say about the traffic apps or whatever. There was nothing there. I think I got home at 2:00. I mean, it took me almost 5 hours to get home, which is, not good. Not good. I was exhausted. I mean, I am exhausted. I was exhausted yesterday. I came home. I saw Sam. Me and Sam are working on a project. She wants to do a video. So we're trying to keep, these kids, too much time with the iPad, too much time on YouTube watching videos. And I just kind of had enough. I'm like, you have to make something. And I said, you can use Dad's YouTube channel if you want, but you got to make something that's running related. And so we watch videos on storyboarding, and we watch videos on shot composition, stuff like that. And she was really interested, and she started writing a storyboard of her own, and she's got like a little script that she's working off of, and I kind of expect her to do a video in the next couple days. I'm hoping that she takes to it and loves it and attacks that project. It's going to be fun. So she went to bed about 8:30, and then I had to get my workout in because I hadn't done it. And my workout yesterday was a brick run, a brick bike and run, and I'm still working on that saddle issue with the bike, but it's pretty close to ironed out. Not ironed out, like I'm still experiencing pain, but it's definitely abated. And I got a good bike ride in last night. I did about an hour and 15 minutes. It was a couple intervals, some high wattage power intervals. Sweaty, probably still sweating out the beers that we drank the other night. We were out till 2 a.m. So let's put that in perspective. I was out till 2 a.m. Traffic for 5 hours. Working with Sam was great. I don't even want to make it sound like it was a task. It was just great. And then now I got to get my workout in. So I did that, and then I just ran a mile just because I'm trying to get that, and I felt really good running the mile. So I hit the bike hard, and then I transferred to the run because I'm trying to make sure. Last year, what I didn't do a lot of those brick runs. I didn't do a lot of transition. Now I never made it to bike run transition last year, but I'm going to make it this year. And I want to make sure that I have the feel. I felt really good last night, shockingly. I finished the work at about 10:30. Kind of stayed awake for a little bit. I just had trouble going to sleep. Probably went to sleep after midnight, like 12:30. And I was up at 5:30. I am exhausted, folks. I am exhausted. And I don't know. Maybe I'll just take a nap after this. Who knows? But, time goes by, whether you're exhausted or not. So might as well make the best of it. Here I am, 5:30. We're doing the podcast, 121 days until Lake Placid, 219.8 pounds this morning. Feeling okay with that weight. Feel pretty good, actually. And, in terms of today, yeah, I'm exhausted, but I got to do a swim. I wanted to try to lift, and tonight I'm going to do another bike. We're going to do a bike race today. I got to just find one and pick one out, and then be there when it's time. So, kind of excited about that workout. I just got to figure out. I got to get a nap in. I gotta put out the podcast this morning. What else do I got to do? Oh, I got to work on the video. Got to work on editing the video with Ramon. It was so much fun. So much fun. Anyway, looking forward to getting that out. What else we got? I think that's it for today, guys. It's been a busy couple days. Again, so sad to hear the news on Gerry Boyle. And I know I'm gonna wear this Maryland hat for the next few days. Just every time I know I see it, it'll remind me of him. And I think that's a fair tribute to the man. He was an amazing dude. He was an amazing dude. He was the one reason to participate in Ironman Maryland. He was the reason. And that's about it for today. So, that being said, I got a busy day. I hope you guys got a busy day today. Sign up for the Ordinary Marathon if you haven't done it. It's coming soon. At the end of this week, you will no longer be able to get your personalized bib, and I can't guarantee shirt delivery in time for the race. But so get on that if you haven't done it, and head on to that YouTube channel. If you're watching me on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. Really could use the subscribers. We lost a few of them last week. I don't know why. I guess was it something I said? Probably. Anyway, have a good day, guys. Get after it. Get working. Get to work. And always remember, every day is an ordinary day. It just takes you to make it extraordinary. So get after it, guys.
Remember to like our video and subscribe to our channel.